When Avery Sinclair was frying corn dogs at the school gate, three burly bodyguards in black suits suddenly grabbed her, threw a hood over her head, and bundled her into a sleek black Maybach. They drove her to a lavish penthouse in New York City, where the hood came off, revealing a stern woman seated on a plush velvet sofa. The mother of Damian Sterling, the infamous billionaire CO heir and campus heartthrob everyone whispered about. His chiseled features, tall frame, and commanding presence made him the ultimate obsessive alpha male, the kind women dreamed of in dark romance novels. The woman eyed Avery up and down, mentioning how Damian had lingered his gaze on her for a suspiciously long time at the gate, hinting at interest in her looks. She offered Avery a staggering $10 million to turn her son straight, assuming he preferred men after some scandalous rumors. Avery's eyes widened in shock at the revelation about the possessive husband-to-be, but the threat from the hulking guard behind the woman made her neck prickle with fear. As a struggling student scraping by, Avery couldn't resist the life-changing sum, enough to escape her greasy street food stall and the dogs that chased her scent home. She agreed, saluting dramatically, vowing to complete the mission without fail. Back in her dorm, Avery binge-watched seduction tutorials for 3 days and nights, emerging transformed. Her roommates teased her about her ample curves, but she hugged them gratefully, seeing it as her secret weapon. She strutted to the basketball court in a tight, low-cut halter mini dress that hugged her waist and accentuated her figure, drawing every guy's stare amid the sea of campus beauties. There, Damian Sterling stood out like a mafia boss in his white tee, muscles rippling under the fabric, his sharp, cold features screaming grumpy sunshine trope. His eyes locked on her, and he approached with long strides, wind tousling his hair. Avery's heart pounded as she cleared her throat, but he only demanded 2 corn dogs, cool as ice. Fuming inwardly at his love for junk food, she fried them while sneaking glances at his aloof posture, phone in hand. Handing them over, she tried flirting about his single status, but he brushed her off coldly, heading to his waiting Maybach. Desperate, Avery grabbed her fryer and chased after, begging for a ride to dodge imaginary city inspectors, batting her lashes until he relented with a throat-clearing grunt, his gaze flickering to her cleavage before he averted it, ordering her to stay silent and distant in the back seat. They ended up at a high-end bar where Damian lounged with his elite friends in a VIP booth overlooking the city skyline. Avery shamelessly squeezed in with her fryer, selling a dozen corn dogs and pocketing extra cash while eavesdropping. His buddies mentioned some betrayal by a guy named Kai, who had screwed him over in a business deal, leaving Damian's face dark and stormy under the dim lights. Avery pieced together that Damian was heartbroken, still a virgin in matters of the heart, making her plan crystal clear: show him the allure of women to heal his wounds. She launched a full-on pursuit, saving seats in class, buying him meals, even bribing his roommate with free food for his number. Daily texts flooded in. Good mornings, flirty quotes, but Damian ignored them all, his expression perpetually icy when they crossed paths. After 2 months of relentless effort, Avery's funds ran dry, forcing her back to Restall without chasing him that day. A text from her 10 million contact buzzed a single question mark from Damian. Later, as a shy classmate offered her a rose, Damian swooped in from nowhere, still in his basketball jersey, sweat dampened, snatching the flower with a scowl. He lectured about it being from the forbidden school garden, demanding a report, while the guy fled. Avery teased about his dominance, but he corrected her sternly, warning about penalties. Crushed that it wasn't jealousy, she pressed if he'd sought her out mid-game. He admitted only for corn dogs, explaining the text as confusion over her spam-like messages, deeming them illegal. Hurt exploded. She ranted about her efforts, and he finally got it, agreeing to tell inspectors to let her stall run longer. Staring into his clear, desire-free eyes, Avery realized her soft approach wasn't cutting it for this obsessive alpha male. She needed to amp up the seduction, drawing from billionaire CEO romances, make him crave what he didn't know he wanted. Devouring 100 dominant submissive novels overnight, Avery grasped the essence: pure, raw attraction. Glancing at her curves, she headed out armed. Intel from his roommate led her to Damien's private Italian villa party, a sprawling estate with marble floors and crystal chandeliers. Damien shone like a star, ignoring flirty women to chat with a tall, slim guy, Kai, the one who'd betrayed him. Overhearing snippets amid the thumping music, Kai begged for forgiveness, claiming a woman had tricked him out of money, pleading to reconcile their partnership. Damien seemed swayed, outlining rules for coming back. Avery's alarm bells rang. She couldn't let this enemies to lovers twist revert. Rushing in, she blocked them, calling Kai a cheater who'd screw him over again. Kai's eyes lingered on her figure, darkening Damien's expression as he yanked her behind him, barking at Kai to leave. Triumphant, Avery followed Damien inside, preaching about moving on from toxic ties, until he snapped for silence. Bumping into his back, she rubbed her chest in pain, noticing his breath hitch as his gaze dipped, then fled, voice rough with warning to stay away. Undeterred, Avery pushed boundaries, teasing his inexperience, suggesting he try women to straighten out his past. His face blackened, but he laughed coldly, mocking her openness. Defiant, she claimed expertise, offering to show him. His eyes narrowed with dark intent, and in a flash, he pinned her against the wall in a fierce wall dunk, his body dominating hers. Close for the first time, his minty scent enveloped her, his collarbone tempting under the shirt. Daring him about his role in past flings, she ignited his fury. He gripped her waist, slamming her closer, proving his alpha dominance. She wrapped her arms around his neck, tiptoeing for a kiss that landed on his throat, eliciting a groan. He captured her lips roughly, tongues tangling in a dizzying storm that left her breathless, leading to the bed where clothes tore in heated frenzy. Yet he stopped short, redressing her, wrapping her in blankets before storming out, tented and frustrated. 2 days later, Damien summoned her to the villa with a bag, condoms, and explicit DVDs for study. Undoing his shirt, he loomed over her, vowing to prove his manhood and erase her mockery of his virginity. Avery's eyes widened at his persistence. He pounced, their bodies clashing in a marathon of passion, exploring every angle from those videos. 3 days locked in the luxury estate, his stamina endless, like an obsessive alpha male claiming his submissive. Exhausted, she teased his inexperience. He demanded praise, forcing detailed reviews of her soul-shaking ecstasy. They shifted from classmates to secret lovers in his villa, a marriage of convenience born of lust and lies. Suspicious of spies from his mom, Avery soon received a $3 million advance, counting zeros obsessively, more than her parents' tragic factory death compensation, swiped by relatives. The deal stabilized their straight bond for the rest. Avery fed him dark romance books to immerse in male-female dynamics. He grumbled about weak heroes chasing money-hungry women, but she countered with tragic male-male stories and dragged him to weddings, highlighting happy unions. Asked if he felt women's appeal, he admitted trouble but comfort with men, earning her silent treatment for days. Yet signs emerged he ignored Kai's calls, texting a final rejection. Avery doubled care, cooking, massaging late nights, cooing about women's superiority. He'd compliment her feet while she soaked them, calling them perfect, a twisted but straight affirmation. Time flew. Senior year brought internships. Damien launched his company, Reconcile Incorporated, echoing Kai's pleas oddly. Their meetings dwindled to rare, passionate reunions amid busy schedules. 1 week without contact, Avery called. His female secretary answered, noting the drunk billionaire CEO. Stunned by his title, she hung up, realizing her role as a temporary fix. Alone on their shared bed, she pondered her feelings. No love for clients in her line of work. Deciding it was good, he'd outgrown her. She focused on grad school abroad, ignoring his flirty texts about missing her curves. Meeting his mom again, she assured no marriage ambitions. The woman sneered at her orphaned bad luck, offering $11 million to vanish. Avery took it, drafting a safe contract, planning her escape for a fresh start. That morning, Avery texted Damien a casual goodbye. No commitments ever voiced, just heated encounters in his penthouse or private jet jaunts. Deleting him, she headed to the airport, but ran into Kai, who chatted amiably, then called Damien. Suddenly, Damien stormed in, tailored suit gleaming, bodyguards flanking like a mafia boss. He scanned her luggage, demanding explanations for her farewell. Kai chattered about reconciliation. Damien snapped agreement, igniting Avery's rage. She blasted Kai as a cheater, outing presumed past intimacies. Silence fell. Damien's face turned thunderous, piecing together his mom's scheme. He tore her ticket, seized her bags, bundling her into his Maybach for the villa lockdown. Locked in their love nest, Avery accused illegal detention. He dared her to call cops, smirking darkly about handling her post-release. She taunted he'd tire. He referenced romance novels' 3-year captivities. Demanding the payout, he guessed 11 million, peanuts to him. Hurt, she defended it as life-altering, more than her parents' worth. His eyes blazed money over him? She affirmed yes, vital for survival. Gripping her wrist bruisingly, he loomed, then hurled her onto the bed, ripping her dress in a dominant frenzy, kisses punishing. She yielded, not minding the luxury of his touch, but her passivity enraged him. He halted midway, storming out, ordering no food to starve her. Hunger didn't win. Avery fished from the villa pond, grilling in the yard, sharing with guards. Damien caught them, trashing the setup in jealousy, pinching her chin to demand if she'd ever liked him, even for a second. Stunned, Avery reflected on their sweet moments. Cuddling on the couch, him nuzzling her chest lazily. Post-passion embraces, finger-tracing his abs, playful food fights, hand-holding strolls. Those sparked joy, but was it love? She hesitated. He laughed bitterly, claiming no feelings either, telling her to scram, vowing vengeance if paths crossed. Avery fled abroad, starting fresh. Initial excitement faded to boredom. Food sucked, inspiring a tiny Chinese eatery with a local partner opposite campus, booming business. Nights brought melancholy, missing Damien's smiles, kisses. One day, he entered with a wavy-haired beauty, ordering coolly without acknowledgement, more mature, sharper-jawed, drawing stares. Avery served silently, assuming forgotten. That night, his Cole's stomach ached from her food near death. Rushing to his upscale apartment, she found him curled on the sofa, clutching his gut. He griped about her tardiness, accusing a new boyfriend delay. She denied, touching his stomach soothingly. He threatened lawsuits, billions lost. Arguing escalated to him pinning her on the carpet, kisses fierce, clothes shedding. But he stopped, confessing post her impotence, bitter about failed flings, even eyeing the balcony suicidally. Panicked, Avery hugged him back, promising responsibility. He produced a protocol monthly 10 million to treat him. Shocked at the sum, inflation ignored, she signed after haggling, echoing his mom's deal eerily. They cohabited in a scenic standalone villa for recovery air. He banned her bras at home for visual stimulation. Surprisingly, their first reunion worked flawlessly. He claimed body memory. Doubting the report, she questioned. He feigned offense, balcony-bound again. She pulled him back, ceasing probes as sessions stayed potent. He blamed her unique chemistry, spouting jargon. Life normalized studies, his empire expansion abroad. Deposits swelled to billions. She suggested ending, but he silenced with balcony threats. Another year passed. Graduation day, in her cap and gown, Damien whisked her in his private jet to marry, proposing cheesily about permanent treatment. Cringing at his romance novel lingo, she banned them, admiring his Cartier ring prep. He joked about wedding a billionaire babe. She kissed him deeply. Worried about his mom, he assured his dominance, possessive husband vibes. Indeed, she called, domineeringly offering 30 million for a granddaughter, fearing gay grandsons as money pits. Avery agreed, amused. Post-honeymoon in an Italian manor with yacht outings, Avery bolted awake one midnight, piecing puzzles Damien's company reconciled tied to Kai's pleas. Not romance, but business fraud over taxes. Shaking him, she accused no initial gayness. He sat up seriously, suggesting no kids lest they inherit her mishearing genes, dooming exams. Furious, she pounced. He flipped her, indulging in bath play with red ropes loosely binding wrists, whispers of good girl amid steamy dominance, her submissive moans echoing. She's mine. Every breath she takes belongs to me. No one else will ever touch my little wife. Damien fumed when Avery took his mom's money, treating him like a mark, misunderstanding his business bro as a lover. Worst, she tried fleeing for mere millions, as if he wasn't worth billions more. His bed efforts, her likes, all lies? Enraged, he questioned. Her money over him stung like betrayal. He nearly strangled her in fury, slamming out, but returned with food, only to find her grilling fish carefree. No tears for him. Asking if she'd liked him, her silence ripped his heart. He banished her, swearing off the con artist forever. Yet Damien obsessed, smoking, querying his assistant on her absence. 2 weeks felt eternal. Unasked, reports piled her thriving eatery, beauty unchanged, curves tempting. He seethed at her independence, turning voyeuristic, sleep-evading without updates. Hating her deception, yet craving her sass, cuddles, calls of his name. Half a year later, he acted accidental eatery visit, faked illness to lure her. Forged impotence reports fooled her. Her worry soothed his ego. Playing pitiful, threatening death, he coerced responsibility. Prepped contract monthly millions, knowing her past, orphaned, resilient, craved security. Money hooked her. He'd provide endlessly, climbing to richest, ensuring she'd never leave. He'd love her till she reciprocated, his possessive forever.